Do something that sucks every single day of your life. That's how you grow.
Make every day your masterpiece. The secret of your success is determined by what we do daily.
And here's the crazy part. All you got to do is look in the mirror. All you got to do is deal with yourself, and then we're going to get to a whole other level.
Embrace the pressure. Pressure creates diamonds. Start to take the pressure that you feel for what it is you want to do and turn that into productive action. Let it be the thing that makes you get where you want to go when everybody else is just taking it easy.
No more playing after today. I need you to take control over every single area, and we're going to do it one day at a time. And you're going to get control, and then someday going to be your day.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another Winning Wednesday. It's been a long time. We took a short little break while I was on a much-needed vacation to do a little reset, and now we're back to talk positivity.
We'll see how long that lasts.
James, joining me as always, I got my good friend over here, Mr. G Money, Garrett.
What's up, baby? How's everybody this day? It's a rainy day in the Northeast. It's that December weather, cloudy, looks like a Tim Burton movie outside, but we're getting after it.
You know what? It's sunny today in Las Vegas. I don't know what the temperature is. It's probably fucking cold. I was outside earlier. It's 48 degrees in Las Vegas. It's fucking brutal. Like, I moved to Las Vegas thinking it was going to be 80 degrees all year round.
Yeah,
I was lied to. I clearly lied to. It's freezing. I'm freezing my balls off in Las Vegas.
That's San Diego, man. 80 and sunny all year round.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not moving there.
Nope.
So I took the second best option and went to Las Vegas and was lied to. I thought it'd be hot. Like at night, I'd understand it being a little cold because it's a desert. But during the day, when the sun's out, you'd think it'd be like at least 60, 48 degrees. It's fucking bananas.
Yeah, it's a little chilly. I mean, that's just that's like warm weather. Well, that's like flip flops right now for me.
When you think of Las Vegas, what do you think of?
Desert.
Hot.
Desert.
Heat.
Do they keep the pools open?
48 degrees at 9 in the fucking morning is not hot.
Do they keep the pools open like at the resorts and stuff in the winter?
Yeah. They have heated stuff and things like that. Like everybody, no one covers their pools. Like sometimes pools will freeze over a little bit, like a little layer of ice, but not like a thick sheet that you could walk on. You can like just tap with your finger. Yeah, you can like tap with your finger and it'll break. It's like a very thin layer of ice over the pool in some situations. But excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold myself.
Yep, me too. It's that time of year, kids.
I took my medication that I'm not allowed to say on this because we're on YouTube. But even though it's now on all medical sites that it can be used, I took that this morning, so I'm hoping that'll work.
Give you a little bumpski.
And I could use a nice little bumpski, let me tell you. But that's probably why I'm sick.
Yeah,
I had a good time.
What are you drinking? Leidenkrugels this morning?
Yeah, the Ghost of Kiev.
Oh, Beautiful.
That's what me and Justin used to call it, the Ghost of Kiev. That's what we're drinking. But I'll tell you right now, this vacation was perfect. It was a great little reset. I know it was my first vacation in probably 6 years. Like, I haven't taken a vacation in fucking forever.
Where are you, Atlantis?
Yeah, we went to Atlantis.
It's nice, right?
Spend time with my girl and her family. Oh, it's beautiful, dude. I got to play some golf. Spend time with my girl, with her nephews. I went on the water slides with all the kids. It was just, was a good. I needed a vacation from the vacation.
Yeah,
it was East Coast time. Like, Bahamas in the East Coast time. So our tee times are like 7:30 and 8 in the morning for the 2 days of golf. So
which is like 3 o'clock in the morning for you.
3 o'clock in the morning to get to golf, which is 3 a.m. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And then I get back from golf, 6 hours on the golf course.
Start hammering.
No, but I was drinking all day at the golf course, of course.
Yeah, start hammering.
But I get back from the golf course and we go and meet up with everybody else. And, my nephews, the oldest one is 9
So it's go-mo, baby. Welcome to my
as I
world.
get there, I'm cool, Uncle James. James, let's go on water slides. Let's go on water slides. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even function. I need it. And so I figured he had to go on water slides with these kids in the water. Like the water slides are fun as fuck. Don't get me wrong. I remember being a little.
You do them all day though, dude. My kids, like now, you know what it's like when I'm like, oh, I'm going on vacation. It is not a vacation for parents. It is not a vacation for parents. My kids went up the water slide when we went to Florida at my buddy's house. I counted them one day. My kids ran up a 2-3 story water slide and came down it. The one day, I think it was like 78 times.
Jeez. Yeah, it was a lot.
That's on top of playing football in the pool and then going doing laps, then front flipping, then doing this. And I'm like, dude, like they just.
Do you remember when we were kids and you'd get the commercials, like, you know, how they say go and visit this place? But when we were kids, it was like Atlantis, because Atlantis was just opening up and there was a commercial on Nickelodeon. Like for every other commercial was Atlantis, and it was everybody going down the slide with the aquarium
coming through it. Yeah,
I did that shit. That shit was fun. That shit was
cool, right?
Is you can't see shit because the water's splashing in your face. But I did it. Yeah. My girl, she wussed out. She got to the top. She sat down and she went, nope, not doing it.
Yeah, you gotta send it once, girl.
Yeah, got to send it once. She bailed. Her 9-year-old nephew has not let her live it down yet.
As they should not.
Yep, he makes her know that you're a big wuss and a big sissy, and you should not have backed out. And then we did another one called what was it called? It was like a really dark tube, like it was a straight down drop, but like it's called the Abyss. That's what it was called. And it was a tube, and you go straight down, and there's at the top there's like a little handlebar. So and it's
so
not
like toss yourself.
It's not like America where like you had like they make you like sit down and push yourself with your hand, and then you got to lay back.
No. The guy's like kicking you in the back as you set yourself down.
They do not give a fuck in the Bahamas. So the first time I went on, I'm holding on the thing. I've never done the slide. I have no idea what it is. It's just like a giant abyss, a pit. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna swing. So I get it. I swing. I do not hit the slide. I hit the top of the tube, like my head mashed the top of the tube, and you hear dunk, dunk, and everyone's oh, and then I hit the slide and slide down, and it was like a weird slide because it was really dark and it had a huge, really steep drop, and then it leveled out just a little bit, but then it hit you with it like the water's hitting you in the face. You're like, oh, I'm almost done to open my eyes, and you get hit with another drop in the face by all this water. So I had my nephews sliding in and swinging in. They're 9 and 7, and these little fucking munchkins are just launching full send. I can see your kids doing the exact same thing, just full send into the fucking tube. They don't hit the bottom. Like I would grade them on how much air they got. And every time we get to the bottom, like James, did you see it? Did you hear me? Yeah. Oh man, it was so great. We had so much fun. But I needed a vacation from the vacation because now I'm sick. And I feel like dog shit. But after the vacation, it was pretty cool because my parents were in town. They were watching Mardi Gras. Very blessed that they were able to come and do that because I wouldn't have been able to go. Marley's too handicapped to be left by herself or with somebody else. It's a lot of work. She's got to be hand fed and all this extra stuff. It's very, very difficult to do. Excuse me. So my mother, God bless her, my father, they came out and helped out. So when we got back, I got to spend some time with them. I cooked everybody a Thanksgiving dinner. I smoked my George McDougal smoked a turkey.
Was it good?
Bro. I don't think you understand.
Did you brine it and then smoke it?
I didn't brine it. I didn't have time to brine it. I did not have time to brine it because we were on crunch.
Yeah.
But I would have brined it, but no, I didn't. Yeah. So what I did instead,
George, but yeah, God.
What George did, I'm sorry, excuse me. What George did, I watched him. I was very close, played a close attention so I could do it myself. But George, he cooked up some garlic butter, a little garlic, a little onion powder, a little butter. And I injected that bird with all this garlic butter. And then then I took the bird and I seasoned the fuck out of it. But I didn't just like season it. I lathered it in butter, even more. Yep. And then I seasoned it. And then I put the seasoning on there. And
get a nice sticky crust to it.
and then we put it on the smoker. It was like a 5.5 hour cook.
Okay.
And when I tell you, this was the best bird I've ever eaten in my, like, it was so juicy and flavorful.
Because turkey's tough, man.
Yeah, turkey can be very dry. It can be very, very dry, and it's not good, especially when this didn't even need gravy. It didn't need nothing. It was so nice. Juicy and delicious, and I cannot wait to do it again because it was, or until George does it again, I should say. And I'm going to try to film that one because it was just so good.
Got to do some beer can chickens too, a little smoked beer can chickens. Those are fun too.
I would love to try that, but the turkey, good God, that was like, I could eat that every day. It was so good.
Dude, we had like a 35-pound turkey. It was insane.
I did a 20-pounder, 22 pounds. Yeah. And then I did some sausage stuffing, and I did some mashed potatoes. And again, if I had time, and we did Brussels sprouts. And if I had time, I would have, George didn't cook. George did not allow that near his barbecue pit. They did not go up there.
I was going to say, I thought he didn't do veggies.
Nope. They got cooked on the regular stove by my mother. I was not doing it. And everybody else wanted veggies. I said, you guys cook that. George was not having it. He was very pissed off. He was ready to kick people out of the house.
It happens.
It was a big ordeal. But everybody came over. We ate, my in-laws, the kids, everybody came over. We had a great Thanksgiving dinner after we got back, and it was awesome. Great to spend time with friends and family. And I hope everybody did that over the Thanksgiving because we weren't here the past couple Wednesdays. And got a good reset because everybody needs it. We're going through tough times, and this is part of the reason why we started the show, because all the tough times that we're going through. And the best way to deal with that is spending time with loved ones. Everybody's going through the suck right now. Everybody's dealing with the economy. Everybody's dealing with the prices of everything, the shortage of everything. It's going on across the country, and
across the world.
Yeah, across the world, for real.
Mm-hmm.
But we understand wholeheartedly that it's much difficult for others than it is for us. We're very blessed, and I pray for those people every single day. Because I can't imagine, it's difficult for us, and I can't imagine people that are living paycheck to paycheck and just getting by the skin of their fucking teeth, even when the economy was good.
Yeah.
So sometimes, you crumble underneath that kind of pressure and you lose your shit. And I think friends and family is one of the best ways to kind of forget that. And I hope people didn't use the economy, use the costs of everything as an excuse to not get together. Like we said, I don't know if it was on the winning Wednesday before Thanksgiving or if it was on a Monday or Monday Madness before I left. I don't remember. Or a Friday, I'm sorry. But I hope everybody didn't use that excuse to not get together, because I know there are some people that did that. Like, it's too expensive. I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah, but you don't need those things to get together with family. You just need each other. And that's the biggest thing, is just being able to enjoy each other's company, and be able to really take in what matters in life. You guys could have sat down and, had fucking fish sticks. It doesn't matter. As long as you're around the right people and good people, like-minded people, positive people, that keep you in the good mindset. Because listen, perfectly honest, we all know some family members are toxic. So as long as
those crazy liberal ants, no kidding,
100%.
So those are probably given out. But here's the thing: one of my biggest and most important things that I do on a daily basis to get ready for the day, to keep my mind right, because we talked about this last night. We had Lord Petty on, Rodney Smith on last night, and he's shifting his content from political to almost like coaching men to showing men and how to be men and how to deal with the stresses of being men, because it's
not okay to be a man anymore.
No, it's not. It's very difficult, and there's not a lot of male influence, and it's very difficult, and
it's toxic, James.
Oh, it's very toxic.
It's very toxic, sir.
But one of the things that I do, because he had just woken up in 2020, and he's like, dude, how have you been doing this for decades? Like, I'm literally ready to
lose your mind. I know.
I'm ready to smash my head against the wall every day. Like, how are you alive? Like,
well, I think me and you have talked about this too, is we've been down this hole for so long that it's super frustrating for us, because we're like, somebody pull the fucking trigger already. Somebody pull the fucking trigger. But it's also got to be super hard for people that are only 2 years out, a year out, to be bombarded with the amount of information that we've been digesting for 2 decades.
Which is the majority of people. Let's be real.
Right now,
It is the
100%,
majority.
yeah.
Like, we are in the minority. There is not people like us that have been diving down rabbit holes and looking into this stuff and speaking about this stuff for as long as we have. There's very few people. Like, really think about it. We the People Radio was one of the first podcasts that was talking about it. Sam Tripoli had a show.
Yeah.
The Part of My American, I think, had a show.
Yeah, you had a little bit of X22.
X22, but that was like wasn't really a podcast. That was almost like a news.
Yeah, like geopolitical news source.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't consider that a podcast.
Yeah.
There wasn't many, and there was good information, like Praying Medic, Just Informed Talk,
Julian's Rum.
X22, Julian's Rum. There was a lot of really good news spots to go to, but there wasn't many podcasts talking about this stuff that were just open discussions. And we've been doing this for a long time, and I haven't taken a break. But one of the things that I told him, I talked about Winning Wednesday and why we're doing Winning Wednesday for this exact reason, because every morning I have to wake up, I have to put on something that brings me joy, that puts me in a positive mindset, that makes me happy, that frames my mind to start the day. But one of the things that I do, which is one of the reasons why Thanksgiving is, it may be my favorite holiday. It really may be one, because we talked about the last time we were on air because of the food and of wrestling, and I wasn't able to eat the food, and now that I can, I love all of the Thanksgiving, everything that goes with it. But also the purpose of Thanksgiving, like the base root of Thanksgiving. What do we call it? Thanksgiving. You express gratitude. You're thankful for the things that you have. Like, that is one of the most important things that you could do, is expressing gratitude. So many people in this world, when they look at things, they look at other people, especially in today's world with social media and the way social media is. You look at everybody's social media profiles, they're doing this, they're doing that. Oh, I wish I could have this.
It just shows their best life all the time, and it's not a realistic view. It's such a skewed lens of reality because nobody posts their L's all the time, right? So nobody's like, yeah, failed at this business. Oh, yeah, failed at losing weight again. Oh, yeah. No, like, everybody posts their wins. So it's such a skewed sense of reality.
It was even before social media existed, and you know it. Everybody
ego.
Looked at somebody else and was like, oh, I wish I had that. Like, I have all of this, but I wish I had that too. They're never looking at themselves and be like, you know what? Be nice to have that, but I'm very grateful that I have this. I can do this. I'm very grateful for this. I'm grateful for that. And expressing gratitude,
or even just being happy for the other individual. Like, you're not happy for other people, where some people
that's getting ahead of ourselves. That's asking a lot for a lot of people. We understand. Like, really No,
it is.
Back to my point. Being grateful is one of the best things and best ways to bring joy into your life. It really is. Like, I wish I did this more. I know Nick does, and I talk about it, and I don't do it, but I should. Even though I do express gratitude on a regular basis. I took it from the movie The Secret, or the book The Secret. Well, a gratitude rock. And you put something, whether it's a coin, a rock, that's in your pocket, stays in your pocket, it goes with you every day. So every time you touch it, whether it's reaching in your pocket to get your phone, whether it's, starting your day to put in your pocket, whether it's ending your day, pulling it out of your pocket, anytime you touch it, you express gratitude. You're thankful for something. And it doesn't have to be a materialistic thing. It doesn't have to be something like that you're overthinking. You could just be grateful for the day. You could just be thankful that you woke up in the morning. You could be thankful for your significant other. You could be thankful for your children. You could be thankful for so many different things. But every time, like, really feel it, like, express that gratitude, like, self-reflect and think about why you're grateful for this, because it's very easy to look outward and look at everybody else's life and say, oh, I wish I had this. I wish I had that. In reality, look at what you already have. Like, look at, like we said, like, I look at what's going on in the world, and I'm very thankful that I'm not struggling as much as many are in this country. I'm very thankful for that. And I pray for the people that are, but that's not the case. Like many people can't say that. Like there are people right now that can't say that. Like, hey, I'm thankful I could put food on the table right now. Like that's a reality.
Yep.
That is the reality. And when you could put food on your table, when you have a roof over your head, when you have heat that's coming in, that's something that I'm actually really worried about this winter is people actually being able to heat their homes and stay warm. Like that's going to be a big issue because of the cost of gas, because of the cost of everything. People are going to have to make decisions whether they want to feed their family or heat their home. Like that's a real situation for many Americans, and it's sad. And meanwhile, we're sitting here and we're like, oh man, I wish I had a nicer car. I wish I had this, or I wish I could go on more vacations, this, that, and the other. Like, fuck you. You should be thankful that you could put heat on. You should be thankful that you can put food on your family's table. Like those little things go a long way. And when you express gratitude for that, God reciprocates. Like that's how I truly believe God works, and that is when you're thankful rather than saying give me. Think about when most people pray.
Yeah.
Like really think about it. They're not praying, thanking God for the things that they already have. They're praying in many cases
in the dark times.
In the dark times and asking, gimme. Hey God, can you do this? Can you deliver this? Can you do that? Can you do this?
So you run into those people that like, and I think this is kind of getting like into a deeper conversation, I would say. But like you see, those guys like the Joel Osteens and the evangelicals, where they're like, you should ask for cars, you should ask for money. God wants you to be bountiful. He wants you to be plentiful.
Which is true.
Exactly. So, but I also think it's like everything else in life, it's balance. You can't just ask, want. And you also can't just give, right? Because it's like, especially emotionally, it's like an emotional bank. If you're constantly making withdrawals and not putting any deposits in, you go bankrupt, right? So I think it's like everything else is balance in life. And I think that, whether you guys are into The Secret or not, I mean, I've read it, James has read it, we've seen it, and that was years ago. And I mean, there's a lot, whether you believe in that or not, there's a lot of good, like little, tidbits or things like the gratitude rock or the vision boards and stuff like that to point you in that direction, because I just being in business and stuff like that, like I've done that, and I think the gratitude rock, for example, I think is a fantastic idea, or a coin, because it's just that constant reset of your frequency, and it's that constant reset of your attitude, and it's that constant reset of your outlook. So even if you're having a shitty day and you go to reach in and grab, like you said, your phone or something, and you're just like, fuck this day, man, and then you hit that and you're like, you know what, man, I'm up today. God gave me the chance to fight. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to be happy that I'm in that position. Now, when you go to like the vision board end, right, that's with short-term goal setting and long-term goal setting. And that's not just The Secret. I mean, if you look at any business, coach or consultant, or a lot of people are like, write it down, because like, even though it's in your head, it doesn't become a reality till it's on paper. It doesn't become a quest till you start taking steps to reach those goals and all that thing. Like my business consultant's from Canada. He is such a big proponent on expressing gratitude. Like, I mean, even in his academy that he runs it, like his workers, like I can see how much he instills it in them, because I see their social media posts and I see their things. And at least once a week, one of his instructors or students or everything is like, I am so grateful for this. I am so grateful for that. And it keeps that uplifted culture, even when time, especially Canada, shit show right now, right? Yeah. But especially even in those times, these people are still finding things to be grateful. And that allows them to keep in that positive mindset to still be able to work and obtain their goals. They don't care if the world's imploding around them, which is good and bad. Like I said, balance. You have to, because if you just turn a blind eye and you go on your own vision quest on certain things, the world blows around. When you come out of that vision quest, there's nowhere to share it with, right? So you do have to, have your head on a swivel and be aware of what's on around you. But at the same time, if you want to achieve those goals, you do have to kind of go on that, what do they call it in Australia? Walkabout. Little walkabout, I have
no idea what those Aussies say. They're wild, those motherfuckers. You see those spiders that they deal with? Those motherfuckers are crazy,
dude. Everything in that continent will kill you.
Yeah, no, I want to go surfing.
Everything. It's like Florida.
I want to go surfing there. No, Florida. I'd rather go to Florida than
Oh
Australia.
Yeah, definitely. But Australia, everything will kill you.
Australia is like Florida man on steroids. And
even their government.
Australia is like Florida Man and Russia combined. Like it's like these guys are wild. Like,
they are.
I saw a video of some Russians riding a bear, like just riding a bear. I'm like,
did you see that guy? He's like drinking vodka and he's on the back of the bear. He's like, oh,
yeah. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Where I saw two guys in the woods like doing pull-ups and this brown bear behind them's just like swatting away, going around like, yes,
karate. Yeah, he's like doing karate. And the fucking guys are doing.
We got a karate bear as a backup singer.
It's wild the things that come out of Russia, and you're like, what the fuck is going on over there?
Hard people, man.
And it's like negative degrees too. Like keep that
no shirts on. They don't care. They're in like their flip flops
and
their Adidas warm up jackets.
Wearing a white beater and their Adidas jumpsuit. It's fucking wild. But no, and this is why again I love Thanksgiving, because even on the day, like even for the people that don't express gratitude on a daily basis, even for those people, that one day they come together, and in most cases, and at least my family has always been doing it, every Thanksgiving that I had the pleasure of being a part of, we usually go around the table and say one thing that you're thankful for, or something like that happens. And everybody goes around and expresses gratitude for even that one day. And it's very powerful. And I think we should carry that on throughout the year. And you should try to every day express gratitude at least once, be thankful for something. Because everybody, no matter how shitty your situation is, everybody has things that they could be thankful for. Obviously everybody can want to their situation to be better and strive for that. That's totally fine. But you still need to be grateful for what you already have. And many people forget that. They're like, man, like think about today and today's depression, like how people get depressed. They don't get depressed because like they have all of this stuff, a roof over their head. They get depressed because they see everybody else have all this great stuff and they don't have it. That's why people get depressed in many cases.
Yeah, well, that's been a problem for so long, James, keeping up with the Joneses. That's the easiest way to put it, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody gets so obsessed with their neighbor having the new, especially like, you know, where we grew up, right? New Jersey. Like that is like, who's got this? Who's got the next Escalade? Who's got that? Oh, did you see this guy's new boat? Did you see this? Did you see that? But at the same time, the one thing I think comes with maturity a little bit is I still see that. And I'm at the age where like our parents were, where our kids are a certain age and we're at a certain age where we're like in the middle of our careers, and I see my friends around me that have like, you know, the toys and the quads and this and that, and I don't have that stuff. And it's just, and it's not that I can't afford that stuff. It's just that I've went into a mindset of priority. And I also try to live, I have a nice vehicle. We have a nice house. We have whatever we need. I try to provide at a reasonable rate, right? But at the same time, I've also learned in my life, I've seen so many people live above their means and then go under. It's just not worth it to me. So I just set people, dude, and I just set my people. Yes, 100%. Wealthy people, like, it's okay. Like people don't understand, like, oh, that guy makes $5 million a year, but if he sells 6, I'm still richer than him.
Without a doubt, like really think about it. Think about this. People,
money's a fraud, and we shouldn't even be dealing with it.
Well, that's a whole other conversation. Okay. That's not for this show.
Oh, real quick too, my mom in the comments said, "Don't worry, there's no crazy liberals on our side of the family." Crazy liberal ass.
You're lucky. You're lucky.
I know.
You're very lucky. I love your mother. I love her. She's the best. But most people who are wealthy, most, not all, because some are born into it, but most start very broke. They don't have money. And when they don't have money, they live that way. They eat frugally. Like I know a lot of wealthy people that started out like eating Subway sandwich, $5 footlongs, top ramen noodles, like
been there.
Just getting by just to survive. But then as soon as they get wealthy, like say they make $1 million in a year, they go and buy $1 million home. They go and buy a $1 million car. They go and buy all these $1 million things. And all of a sudden, like athletes is a perfect example. It's a perfect example. These athletes, they all of a sudden overnight, after years of hard work, they earned it.
Rappers,
but rappers have a little bit of it depends on how their contract is written, because a lot of them do get robbed in their contracts by these.
100%. I posted a good video on that the other day.
That's a whole nother rabbit hole as well. But rappers, if they're smart, they'll set up royalties for their music, and that's a continuous pay for the rest of their life. Whereas athletes, they don't have that. Athletes, once you're done playing, if you don't set up yourself financially with other outside businesses, your income will stop. And these guys, they go from being broke, having no money, to getting drafted, and all of a sudden now they're worth tens of millions of dollars, like lots and lots of money. What do? They go out and buy a car. They go out and buy a car for their mother. They go out and buy a house. They buy a house for their family. Like they literally spend all of this money. And then all of a sudden, when that dries up, like I was actually watching the movie Southpaw yesterday. With my girl.
I've seen it go up. I haven't watched it yet.
You'd watch it. It's a phenomenal movie. Great. You'd really, really like it. It's a great fight flick. But Jake Gyllenhaal, the main character, he's the light heavyweight champ in boxing, and he's paying his friends to watch his house. He's got this giant, extravagant mansion, like all of this stuff, and his wife ran all the finances and was the manager and everything. And she ended up, I don't want to blow the story, but she wasn't around, and he went through a depression and didn't fight, and had no income coming in, but all these expenses going out, ended up having to sell the home, sell the cars, couldn't pay his friends, went back to living in some 1-bedroom apartment and could barely get by. And
I mean, that's the story as old as time for a lot of these guys too, especially in combat sports.
Well, it's not just combat, it's any sport. It's any sport. These guys come into all this money and they live above their means. Like, rather than taking that money and investing that money and turning that money into more money, where going forward in the future, you don't have really.
Well, you run into that problem, because I've watched a lot of like athletes talk about this, especially out of the African American community. Like, they're like, dudes, your aunt, your uncle, everybody invests so much time and everything else into you through grades, because they know you're going to be a draft pick, right? And they invest in you through college, and you have all these people that are supporting you, and then you get there and they're all like, well, we supported you for this long, where's ours? And a lot of guys, I've seen a couple guys that they're like, yeah, like I've watched people go down these holes. So like, I own all my own houses. My family rented from me. Like, I did it smart, where they're paying the mortgage off, all that other stuff. I'm still helping them out. They still have a nice place to live. They're still doing all that thing, but you're going to pay me rent. Like, I can't afford to just pay all your stuff and you live here. So, But then you have other people that just buy their mom's the $1 million house. And like, that's the whole thing. It's this instant gratification society that we live in. Like, you want to be able, like, I know you, I know myself. Like, if I can give my mom $1 million house, do it in a second. No problem. My mother, my father, they've done so much.
Yep, I do it in a heartbeat.
I would take care of them as best as I can. But also at the same time, I know my family, my father and my mother, would not want me to be stretched so thin just to provide for them, that they wouldn't allow it. They wouldn't take it. They wouldn't allow it. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't want me to put myself in that financial position to put my family's future in jeopardy and everything else. But I think that comes with, having things and having them lost and everything else. But, it's one of those things where like it comes down to balance, and not everybody's financially literate.
No one, 99.99% of people aren't funded. They don't know how to do their own taxes. Which they shouldn't pay in the first place. They don't know
taxation is theft.
They don't know how to work in the stock market. They don't know how to invest. They don't know where to put their money. And that's the point I was getting to a little earlier. Is instead of taking this tens of thousands of dollars and investing a good portion of it to make you more money. Because the reason why a lot of people don't invest, which they should be, is because they don't have the money to invest. Like, their money is already spent because they're worried about paying bills, putting food on their family's table. So at the end of the month, they're
living maxed out.
There's nothing left to invest, and it's very difficult for people to take even an extra $5 and put it in some investment account, some Roth IRA or something like that. It's very difficult for them, and I understand that. Like, I live that life myself. Like, there's a lot of things that I'd like to invest in, but I can't because there's not enough money at the end of the month to put things into investments, which It sucks. It's stupid.
But even right now, the stock market's a shit show. So even the people with money are pulling that out.
Regardless of stock market, it doesn't have to. You don't have to necessarily invest in stock market. There's so many other things that you can invest in to make your money go places.
Well, you can also invest in yourself, and a lot of people don't do that.
Without a doubt, you can invest in real estate. You can invest in businesses. You can invest in there's plenty of options to invest in other than the stock market that you don't have to worry about that. But that's not the point. The point is that rather than taking this nest egg that you're getting started with, like this is why, like, for example, if you're a sports guy like me and you watch sports, and especially a football fan, you know who Jamarcus Russell is. Have you ever heard of Jamarcus Russell, Garrett?
Was he quarterback for the Raiders a while back?
He won the national championship for LSU. He was the first overall pick for the Raiders in 2007. And he held out his rookie year and got the largest rookie contract ever. Like he got like a couple $100 million, like crazy money he got. And he turned out to be one of the worst draft picks.
He was a bust, right?
Yep. One of the worst of all time. Like the coach gave him a tape. He was like, "Hey, Jamarcus, watch this. Tell me what plays that you like out of this." And Jamarcus was like, "All right," took it home, came back the next day. The coach was like, "All right, what plays do you like?" He's like, whatever, coach. I like them all." There was nothing on the tape. There was absolutely nothing on the tape. He didn't even watch it. He got caught doing a bunch of codeine. It was a big ordeal, and his statistics were terrible. He was a terrible quarterback. And there's this podcast that I really enjoy. It's called The Pivot. And if you like winning Wednesdays and you're a sports guy, you'll like The Pivot as well, because that's exactly what it is. It's all about your largest pivot in life, like what you had to do to make a change in life to get better. Like, things aren't always great for everybody, even these very wealthy, high level athletes. And Jamarcus Russell came on. It was the first interview that he's really done since he left the NFL. And the way he was portrayed in the media was that he was a me guy. He didn't give a fuck about anybody else. He always had an excuse for everything. Like, that was the way he was portrayed in the media. So I expected him to go on this interview and start pointing fingers and like say, it wasn't me, this, that, and the other. And it was the complete opposite. And I'll tell you, I gained so much respect for this guy, Jamarcus Russell, because he went on there and he talked about the tape that he got fed. He talked about his coaches and all of the controversies that went around him. And they asked him, like, "Yo, are you bitter? Like, are you mad that, your career and you were treated the way that you were treated? The media portrayed you this certain way?" He goes, "Nah, man, never." He goes, the NFL gave me a great start in life. He goes, I would not be where I'm at right now if I did not go to the NFL. Like, I got a jump start ahead of everybody. Like, millions of dollars were given to me, and I was smart. I didn't piss it all away. Like, I'm not, trust me. He's like, I'm good. Like, I'm not broke. Everybody, they may say in the media that I'm broke. Trust me, I am not broke.
Yep.
And I'm good. And he's like, I'm so thankful for my opportunity. He's like, do I wish it was better? Absolutely. I wish it was better. Should I have done better? Absolutely. I should have done better. But I'm thankful for the opportunity that I did have, because I got a great head start on life that many people don't. The people that I know in my life did not have the head start that I have. And I'm thankful for that. And I saw that. I was like, man, you know what? I got a lot of respect for you, dude. I mean, I thought you were a bag of shit. I thought you were just some guy who got his payday, did not care, didn't want to win, just wanted to get paid and get the fuck out.
Well, it goes back to media portrayal, my man.
Without a doubt, 100%. The fake news is very much in the sports world as much as it is in the real world. 100%. I mean, ESPN is owned by Disney. Let's be real. But I was like, wow, that was a very mature, respectable answer and way to look at things. And many people watching were probably just as shocked as I was. Like, I expected him, like I said, to point fingers and point blame at everybody else but himself. And he was like, nah, man. He's like, what happened. It was my fault. Like, I could have done better. And I did.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's good that he's, I mean, that's just another, testament to, self accountability, being self aware, being able to reflect on, your pros and your cons, because that's the hardest thing to do. I mean, a lot of people, it depends. There's a lot of people that like gaslight themselves and be like, I'm the man, I'm this. And yes, you need that positive talk. You need that positive.
You're not going to be great unless you're going.
But then there's also the people that just, oh, I'm a piece of shit. I can't do it. Oh, the world's against me. I can't do it.
Oh,
yeah, the victim mentality, so it's like everything else.
Recently played the victim big time on a show.
Yeah, there was that. That one still gets me though, because I mean, not getting too much into it because obviously, but like it gets me because he apologized, said it was his fault, and then goes on attack. Like, I just don't understand. Are you sorry or you're not sorry?
And then plays the victim.
Do you have the accountability, or are you going to be a man, or are you going to be the victim?
Tells half the story and plays the victim. Tells half the story and plays the victim. It's
that's immaturity.
But that's what people do. That's what people, they play the victim. And this is what I expected of Jamarcus Russell, to play the victim. Most people live in that victim mentality. Like, oh, woe was me.
Woe is me.
I can't do this. I'm losing this. I don't have this. Like, I need help, give.
And James and I are not saying that we've never done that ourselves.
No, absolutely not. Like,
we've all done it. We're all guilty of it.
Especially in my younger life. I was talking about it last night, dude. I was talking about it, this very thing.
Me too. Well, I've said it when I was younger too, man. It takes
but so back to what Rodney was saying. He's like, dude, like, I've been doing this for 2 years and I want to bash my head against the wall every day. How do you do this? And I told him, I was like, dude, I'm like, this wasn't like I started going down these rabbit holes and like I was able to just get through it and be positive and have a positive outlook like I do today. Like, I truly have a positive outlook on what's coming and the outcome of these situations. I truly do. With every fiber of my being, I really think that we're going to win this. It's going to be a rough road. I don't expect it to come easily and just happen overnight. We have to work really hard at it and fight to make it happen. But I truly believe that we're going to come out and there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. But it wasn't always like that. There was many, many years in my life where I was very, very depressed. Like, it was very dark in my life. Like, I had no ambition. Like, in my mind, it was like, yo, what's the purpose of trying to be successful and beat the Like, what's the purpose?
The game is rigged from the start.
Everything is rigged. Everything's fake and gay. Like, what's the point? And I had said, I was like, and it comes back to having positive male role models in my life and people that could show me the way. Because again, my father's an old school conservative. You don't talk like he's a 9-to-5 guy. You go to school, get good grades, go to college, get good grades, go work for somebody for the rest of your life, which doesn't exist. I never had somebody show me that there's another way and to be an entrepreneur, to do all of these things. And so like I was like, yo, why am I going to try so hard to go work some job for somebody else that I hate and be miserable? Like, what's the purpose? Like, I never saw any reasoning for it. And I was very, very depressed because I knew that everybody controlled, and I battled severe depression. And if I swear to God, if I did not meet Nick Mirabella, the former co-host of our show, I probably wouldn't be here with us. I was in such a dark place in my life for many years. Because I had nobody to show me that there's other ways to succeed, that you can do it on your own. And he pulled me out. He gave me a huge paradigm shift in my life and the way I viewed things and the way I looked at things. He put books in front of me to read that I read, and I changed the way I saw the world and the way I looked at things. And rather than look and not for nothing at the same time, I had turned away from God big time. I didn't think there was a God at the time. I really didn't. And I've said on this show that one of my biggest regrets is telling my grandmother, who's a devout Catholic, very, very religious person, and she lost her son in a car accident when he was 17. She gave birth to she lived a rough life. Her husband died at 69, my grandfather. Like, it wasn't like she fucking had it all peaches and roses. It was like her parents, my great grandparents, were off the boat. She lived very poor in Brooklyn her entire life with five brothers and sisters. So it wasn't like she had a very easy life, but she had so much faith in God. It was unbelievable. And I'll never forget telling her, I can still see her sitting on the couch in my living room and me on the stairs where I was standing, telling her I didn't believe in God. I didn't think God exists. And it's one of my biggest regrets. I've ever had in my entire life. And I can't wait till I see her again and I can tell her, I can apologize to her face. It's one of the things that is most important to me to do. But I truly believe that's a part of the reason why I was so depressed. I thought there was no hope. It was just all evil. It was all darkness.
But like we said too, man, I mean, that's a great point, but it's that balance. If there's that much darkness in the world, there has to be that much light somewhere. It's just hard. It's hard to see sometimes. I know it is. It's hard to see sometimes.
And it's funny. It's funny because even when Nick gave me that paradigm shift, and even when Nick, because I met Nick when I was 22 years old. Nick was 32. I was 22.
Yep. Nick's an old fuck.
Yeah, he's an old fuck. So are you. But
stop it. I'm a beautiful 40-year-old man. Come on now.
Fucking keep telling yourself that, my guy. Keep telling yourself that.
Oh, stop it. This is supposed to be positive. You tell me how pretty I am. Come on,
you should know on this show that I do nothing but talk shit. And like I told our good friend Justin, rest in peace, that if I'm not talking shit to you, I don't like you.
That's the Jersey way, baby.
If I'm not talking shit, I don't like you. And that's what I told him. That, like, Justin was a big dude, like a very big, imposing dude. And literally the first time we're hanging out, we're at Navy Vet's house and we're shooting pool, and I'm just talking so
much shit. I know.
He goes, dude, I'm going to punch you in the face. Like, what are you doing? He's like, you not see how big I am? I'm like, I don't care. Like, if I'm not talking shit, I don't like you. Like, if you see me quiet, I don't like you.
Dude, I remember when we were in Dallas and like I forget where, I think we were like going and getting like food for like the week or whatever. And we're all out and you're fucking running your mouth. And I'm so used to you. I'm just like, dude, and so you say, he looks at me, he's like, how the fuck you deal with him? I'm like, it's New Jersey, bro. Like, if we're not talking shit, we don't like you. He's like, I know. He's like, I'm not from that area. He's like, it's a big adjustment when I hang out with you guys. He's like, you guys are so fucking mean to each other. he's like, I wouldn't even think you were friends, bro.
He would tell me, he goes, dude, bro, I'll just let you know, like, I'll be real with you. When people talk to me the way that you talk to me, like, I'm fighting them. Like, I'm beating the shit out of them. I'm 100%. Like, nah, dude, it's not how it is with me. Like, if I'm not busting your balls, if I'm not making fun of you, cracking jokes, like, I don't fuck with you. Like, that's just how we are. And like, if you watch any of our shows, like, if you watch,
that's our cultural thing, man.
It is. Think about it. Like, our shows, we've brought on multiple guests, friends of the shows. I've had now at this time, Nick and Ant were co-hosts. Now Alan's a co-host. You've been as a guest co-host. We are always talking shit to each other. Like, it's never like,
we're all East Coast guys too, though.
Like look at every intro of every show that we do. It's not like, yo, this is my amazing looking friend Garrett. He's the man. Blah blah blah. It's like, yo, look at this piece of shit Garrett. He's the co-host. Alan comes on. I'm like, oh, my fucking garden gnome friend Alan over here. Exactly. For nothing. Like, it's nonstop shit talking and. That's just how it is. But it's our way of showing love. But again, what I was saying, like, even when Nick gave me that paradigm shift and showed me that there's another way, I still didn't find God. It took me really until like 2020.
Yeah,
it really did. It was
it's also years of undoing that thought process too. It's like you can have that paradigm shift and everybody's like, oh, the light bulb went off, I'm just gonna go. Like, no, you have to undo years and decades worth of thought process and habits and you know, wrong think and everything else. It doesn't just happen overnight.
Go away. Like, those negative thoughts don't go away. Everybody has them. They don't just disappear just because you
bury them inside like a real man. Just bury them.
Doesn't just go away. And life hits you like a Mack truck. Life sucks a lot of the time. It's not easy. We talk about it on this show all the time. But it was really, for me, it was, you know, I understood that these people were evil. I understood that they did child sacrifice. I understood that they were into pedophilia. I got
YouTube.
I got that. I understood that. But what I didn't understand was that they truly worshipped Satan. Like, I didn't get that part didn't click yet. Like, it was just, they were evil people. Like, it didn't process to me.
Well, and then you get the people that are like, you really think this? And it's like, it doesn't matter what I think, because if that person believes in that thing wholeheartedly and with all their mind and soul, it is as real could be to them.
Yes, and it's not just that, Garrett. It's not just that. When we talk about these people, and I knew this, these people controlled everything. They have information, knowledge, technology that we do not have access to. Like, what do you think they're doing? What do you think they're doing at CERN? Like, what the fuck do you think that they're doing? Like, really think about it.
Creating portals.
And why? But why? What are the reasonings why?
Different dimensions. Bringing shit through.
What do they want to bring through those dimensions? Evil deities. Yep. Evil fucking deities.
I know.
And it really, it actually, you know what it was that really kind of clicked with me was Out of Shadows, was the documentary Out of Shadows, when you hear them talk about what they actually worshipped and what they're actually into. And it clicked with me because I was like, you know what? Like, these people have access to information, to knowledge that we don't have access to. And you start to look into the Aleister Crowleys, and you start to look into the secret societies and the actions that I knew that they were doing, but it all lined up with what they truly believed, which was Satan.
And it's hard too, because all the religious sects, like the highest up in all of them, they believe in the same thing. They just control us with the different sects of religion. But the highest ups at all those religions, they still believe in what these other motherfuckers believe in.
Well, look at the Pope, and look at the Vatican. We can go on and on about. We can go. Yeah, seriously.
1, 2, or 3.
We can go on to that in another show. But the point being is that. These very elite people, they legitimately, like, they worship Satan. They are, look at Balenciaga. Like, if that doesn't tell you all you need to see
how quick that dropped out too. Like, oh, bang, 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 and now
no one's talking about it. Celebrities will come out and virtue signal about the smallest stupid thing. If it was about alphabet people, it'd be, oh my goodness, we can't ban Balenciaga, this, that, and the other. Forget about it. This one thing that's exploiting children, that's showing the world how evil they are with all the symbolism. We talk about how important symbolism is to these people.
Symbolism will be their downfall eventually,
and all the symbolism that's in it. And we've gone over it on the show multiple times. Natalie Denise, go give her a follow. She's doing a great job.
Yeah, she's been doing a great job on Balenciaga.
We love her. She's coming on our show on the 16th on Freedom Friday, so tune in for that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But this is what they're truly into. And for me, the fact that they have this knowledge, that they know things that we don't know, and they believe this. There is no good without there's no evil without good. Like, there's a yin and yang.
Yeah, yin and yang, man. Light and dark. Balance.
Evil does not exist without good in this world. It does not. And if there is a Satan and they truly believe it, there has to be a God. And that's where I kind of came back to God. But another thing that turned me away was these sycophants in these fucking religions. Like, I'll tell you right now, and this is a big problem in the conservative movement. This is a big problem in the religious movement, like, for people finding God. Because I went to Catholic school. It turned me away from God even further. I saw it as a cult in high school. I was like, yo, this is ridiculous. Like, what? Like, I really saw it as a cult. And you have all these people that come after you because they're super religious and like, hey, you curse, you're not a godly person. Hey, you're fucking up. You're not a godly person. Like, you're making mistakes. You're not a God. Like, they're throwing stones from a glass house constantly, because we know that they're not perfect people either.
A lot of people have a hard time with this organized religion.
And you know, I'd walk around. I'm like, yo, if God made me in his image, this is his image. This is who I am. I'm going to be me 24/7. And that authenticity is the most important thing to me. I'd rather be me 100% of the time than put on some facade to pretend I'm something just so people will like me or accept me in some.
It's not my job to make you feel comfortable.
No, it's not. I don't care what you think about me.
I will be nice so you feel more comfortable. But if I make you feel uncomfortable, that's on you. That's your feeling.
But that's being a good human being. Like, I'm always going to be a good human being, but I'm rough around the edges. I'm aware of that. Like, I'm not. I'm far from perfect. I am not a perfect human being. I have so many flaws, and everybody does. And do I want to work on a lot of those flaws? Absolutely. Do I want to get better in a lot of those places? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be me 24/7, and you're going to get me. You're not going to get some fake facade so you can like me or go home and be like, yeah, that guy James is a really cool guy. I don't care. If you don't like me, I don't want you around. I don't care. It's not, but part of that was these crazy religious people that were like, hey, you cannot be a Christian. You cannot be a Catholic if you act this way, or this way. Like, I was like, how? Like, this makes no sense. And for a while, I didn't realize I could go straight to the source and talk to God directly. Rather, I thought I had to go to a priest or a holy individual who is.
Well, that's what you've been told all through Catholic school and everything else, man. Yep. And it's fun. And it's funny with those things too, is like, these same people that are telling you have to follow these rules, you have to do these things, who has the biggest pedophilia cases and settlements against them.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. And we were talking about it yesterday with Lord Petty. We have to, in the conservative movement, in the Christian movement, we have to make a huge paradigm shift. Like we really do, because it pushes people away. Because there's a lot of people that have the values, have the views that we have, but then all of a sudden these crazy people are like, well, if you don't believe that they're all Satanist pedophiles and clones and controlled op, like you're not one of us.
Mm-hmm.
What? Like, if you don't walk a perfect line and do everything perfectly and not curse and walk in a godly way, like, you're not a Christian. Like, I'm like, yo, get fucked. Yeah.
God used all sorts of people to deliver his message.
He used imperfect people, not just all sorts of people. I am no Bible savant. Like, I am not someone who can quote scripture. That is not me. There are plenty of people that can. And my good friend, President-elect Sully, one of my favorite people in the whole world. Such a good dude. Solid
nice
guy. He's such an awesome dude. I love that dude. When I have any questions about scripture or about the Bible, I go to him, and he's very, very knowledgeable, knowledgeable. And part of it for me is I'm a little retarded. And when I read, I'm not even joking. I read the scripture. I have very bad dyslexia, and I have bad reading comprehension. And when you read the Bible, it's not like normal English. It's like all these random words that are thrown. I'm like, yo, I don't understand this. I don't get this, and it's hard for me to read. And that's on me. That's a me issue. But again, when I have questions about it, I go to somebody who does understand it, and I ask questions. And I'm perfectly fine admitting that I'm not an expert in that. A lot of people pretend that
they're an expert in everything.
I am now a Christian, and now I know everything about the Bible. And this is why you don't see us speak on these things often, because this is not something that I'm very well versed in, and you should take information from about. Like, I'm a baby when it comes to this stuff, and I'm looking for advice, and I'm looking for guidance, and I'm welcoming that kind of stuff. And a lot of people are scared to do that because their ego, because of pride. They're like, oh, I don't need help. I know everything. I'm perfect. This, that, and the other. And you have to set all of that aside. You have to be willing to be wrong. You have to be willing to learn new information. And that goes across the board, not just in religion, not just in politics. That goes across the board with yourself. And many people have a hard time doing that. And I hope people can start expressing gratitude and be thankful for the things that they have, and for the things that they don't have, seek out help, seek out guidance, and look for mentorship. Because like I said, I'm
always a big proponent of mentorship. It took me years. It took me years to, say, but with martial arts training and everything else, I always kind of had a mentor, but I didn't look at it that way. And then as I got a little older, I'm like, you need
but you don't have to look like Nick is like a big brother to me. Like, he's not like,
but he's a mentor to you.
I don't consider him a mentor, but at the end of the day, he's a mentor. Like, I go and I get advice from Nick, because he's 10 years older than me. He's had more experiences. He's done more things. He's accomplished things that I want to accomplish, and he gives me guidance on life. Like, I was the oldest in my family. I was the firstborn, and me and my father were very different. Like, I love my father to death, but he's like a very do it by the book, go to school, get good grades, go to college, get good grades, go work for somebody for the rest of your life. And I was never about that. That was never me, ever. So I still to this day, I can't have these conversations with my father. And it's actually almost the opposite with my father, because my father's trying to get out of the 9-to-5 rat race and start his own thing. And he's coming to me for advice. My father is coming to me for advice on how to market and how to do things, because he's unaware and he's never done it. So it's almost like now I'm mentoring him on how to run his business and get a business off the ground, because he doesn't know how to do it. And that's totally
all right though. But you know what, that shows a very telling character trait about your father. Like that's something that's, you know, he can let his ego go and actually come to somebody that he's been telling to do things one way, and he can actually look and say, hey, my son, but dude, hey, it's evolution, it's evolving. But I you know, you should give your dad credit for, you know,
I give him a lot of credit because he's very hard-headed Italian like myself. I'm very hard-headed Italian, old school, very old school. Old school guy, and it's very difficult for him to ask for help or advice. Like, it's very difficult, and I appreciate when he comes to me. I wish he would listen to my advice a little bit more, but he does come to me and look for guidance, and I appreciate that. So it doesn't you don't necessarily have to like go out and like go on the internet and be like, hey, I'm looking for a mentor, or pay somebody for their services. Like, you probably have somebody in your life that you can do that for you. Questions. Like, put your ego aside. That's the biggest problem. People don't want to ask for help. They're scared to ask their friends questions because they're supposed to know this. And as a man, many people feel that way. Like, oh, I'm supposed to, be a man and know how to do all this stuff. Like, I'm a man, dude. I don't know how to fix shit. I can't fix nothing. I have no fucking idea. Like, I call my brother-in-law, who's 25 years old, when I need shit fixed around the house. I'm like, yo, come and help me, because he needs to show me how to do it, because I'm useless. Because my father never taught me any of that stuff. He never showed me that. It was like, yo, like, my father wanted me to go work in the office world, the corporate world. Like, that's the best way. He's like, oh, hard labor is the worst thing. That was how I was raised. It was, don't go to trade school. Don't do this. Like, I was terrified to do that kind of stuff growing up. Like, I was like, oh, man, your hands. If I'm a construction worker, I failed at life. That's how, like, basically what was ingrained in my head as a kid. And I never wanted to do those things. So it was very difficult to shift that mindset as I got older, that, I got to roll up my sleeves. And not only that, my father made me do all the hard labor around the house. Like, I had to do all the leaves and do all the fucking shit around I had to do a lot of chores growing up. So, like, doing that hard labor, I was like, no, I don't want to fucking do this. I want to do this for a living. Fuck this. So I had no guidance in how to be an entrepreneur, and I found a mentor at a young age. I was very blessed to meet Nick Mirabella at Tiff's in New Jersey. He was bartending. It was all because of MMA. It wouldn't have happened if I wasn't an MMA fighter. But Garrett, we're coming up on our hour.
Yes, sir. I know this was a good winning Wednesdays to get back into it, and hopefully you guys can take what we say and put rubber to the road and try to take action on some things, and don't take them all at once. It's so hard to take all the things at once. Pick something that might have resonated with you a little bit and start running with it. And like compounding interest, add to it. But I think the biggest takeaway from today, just be grateful for what you got, kids, and we'll see you guys next Wednesday.
We're very thankful for our audience. We're very thankful for everybody that tunes in. We're very thankful for the support that everybody shows us and the love that we get. We would not be here without you guys. It's truly a blessing. I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd be here. So I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I'm very thankful for you and grateful for everybody that shows us love. But we'll be back next Wednesday with another winning Wednesday. I'll be back on Monday with that piece of shit Alan, that garden, that angry garden. Alan, for Monday Madness, we're going to be covering the Project Veritas video. Part two, we'll be covering that. It's going to be a fun show. And then, we'll be back. Everybody have a great week. Enjoy the weekend. God bless. And until next time, guys, where we go one, we go all.
You want to exercise your freedom on the world, but you don't want to exercise it on yourself. Oh, you'll shut the world down for telling you what you can't do, but you won't say nothing when you don't do what you're supposed to do. You're not getting up when you're supposed to get up. You procrastinate, but you let you slide. You want to hold them accountable? Hold yourself accountable too. You always want to blame other people. You want to hold other people to the fire, but you're not holding yourself to the fire. There are things you like, you have absolutely no control. You are like a slave to you. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, why are you only giving 50%? What's wrong with you? And you need to get rid of them excuses, and you need to stop pointing fingers at people. And you need to start pointing fingers at yourself. What did you not do? And the reason why we fast from time to time is not that we have to fast, but at some point, you gotta fast because you gotta tell the flesh who's in control. I'm in control. You're not in control. I know you don't want to wake up. You don't have an option. Get up. We trying to eat. There's a certain lifestyle we want. Because I owe it to myself. And can't nobody stop me but me. You are not where you want to be, not because you need any more gifts. You need to discipline yourself. You need to learn to tell you no, tell you stop, tell you quit. You got to get to a point where you're disciplined. It might require you saying no to your friends. It might require you changing your diet. Whatever it takes, you got to be willing to do it. And you keep saying you're not there because of something else, because it's easier to blame somebody else. I have to take complete ownership. I had to look at all the things that I didn't have control over and say, I got to take control. Why? When you master yourself, you put yourself in a position that a lot of people can't do what you do, and then you become rare. And diamonds are rare. That's why they cost so much.
You have to be willing to grit it out. You have to be willing to push through discomfort. Nothing that you're about to try or do that is worthwhile is going to be comfortable for you during the process of creating it. Stop with this hope, stop with this I wish, and start replacing those terms with I will fucking do, no matter what.
It's a commitment. It's not a feeling. Commitments don't have nothing to do with your feelings. You do it because you're supposed to.
It's a lifestyle. Instead of hitting that snooze button in the fucking morning and not making your bed and not cleaning your house, you don't hit the snooze button. You get up. You don't want to go run, you go run. You don't want to go swim, you go swim. You don't want to make your bed, you make your bed. You don't want to clean your house, you clean your house. You don't want to study, you fucking study. That's how you start to callous your mind. It's going to suck. It's not going to be fun. Do something that sucks every single day of your life. That's how you grow.
Make every day your masterpiece. The secret of your success is determined by what we do daily.
And here's the crazy part. All you got to do is look in the mirror. All you got to do is deal with yourself, and then we're going to get to a whole other level.
Embrace the pressure. Pressure creates diamonds. Start to take the pressure that you feel from what it is you want to do and turn that into productive action. Let it be the thing that makes you get where you want to go when everybody else is just taking it easy.
No more playing after today. I need you to take control over every single area, and we're going to do it one day at a time. And you're going to get control, and then someday going to be your day.